Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Wow, this is awesome. Okay, great. I'm doing great. Hey, Danny. All right, let's say hi to Danny. Danny's our other
Hi,
person
Danny.
here. This is so
I gotta turn
interesting.
the volume up.
Okay,
Okay.
so let me just introduce what we're doing to everybody. There's people that are coming in that I don't know who they are, but that's okay. I'll just admit them. I guess I have to admit each person individually, which I did not know. So welcome. Oh, hi. Oh, wow. This is so great. Okay. So welcome everybody to Sunday church services with Kermit and friends. I'm so excited that you guys are here. I remember the first day that I did Kermit and friends, I had 0 people. So this is way better than that. Way better. And I'm super excited because this is something that has come into my life at a very dark time. It's been a very rough year for so many people, and everything has changed for me. A lot of you know that I lost my beautiful dog Kermit, and I lost, she was the most important thing in my life by far. She was just so special to me, and I lived for her. Every single thing I did in this life was for Kermit. My job, I chose it so she would have a better life. I wanted a yard for her. That's why I took that job, because I thought that if she had a yard, she'd be happy. And, if she had better food, she'd be happy. If she was living a luxurious life, she'd be happy. She just loved me so much. She didn't care. But, that's why I did everything that I did, was for Kermit. And then losing Kermit put me in a very dark, dark, dark space. But part of me thinks that I'm almost grateful that I was in that dark space, because when I felt the worst that I felt in my whole life, like the saddest that I could possibly be, all these people started coming in. All these very spiritual and religious people started coming into my life when nobody has ever come into my life like that before. In fact, the type of people that were attracted to being in my life before were kind of bad people. Not everyone, but I just noticed, I mean, if you know me from like the Howard Stern days, a lot of people from that world, were trolling me, were hating me. They despised me. They hated me so much. And I felt that, and it really affected my life. And I wanted to know, and the reason why I'm inviting people onto the show, and I want to talk to everyone, is because, have you felt that kind of darkness, and did it lead to anything good? So the darkness that I felt led me to God, right? Prayer. I was so miserable. I was just praying. I was so desperate for, any interaction with God and just the light. I was looking for the light, and I didn't see it at the time. So, I want to be speaking with people about that. Obviously, this is a like experimental thing. I don't know if you could tell, but it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. But I really feel like it's important right now to reach out to people, because people are depressed. And I want to introduce my co-host. So I have a few co-hosts today that I'm excited about. But I think I'm going to talk to people one at a time. I think that'd be smart. I don't know what would be smart with this, but let's just try. So Sugar, you're my main co-host today.
Oh,
So welcome, Sugar. Thank you so much for joining us. And what I thought we would do is say our testimony first. Do you think that would be a good idea, Sugar?
yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So, Sugar, why don't you start with your testimony? How you, why you pray? What was the darkness that led you there? And what you want to do? Because I have this thing inside, like this feeling inside, that I feel like people need help right now more than ever. And I was actually kind of dreading doing this in a way, like dreading it, because I was so scared. But I'm pushing through the fear. And, Sugar, you've been so helpful for me. I feel like you're an angel right now helping me. So welcome, Angel Sugar. And Sugar, just introduce yourself to these
Babe,
people.
if I'm your angel, you're in a lot of trouble. Okay. What I'm interested in is philosophically the concept of paradox, as you were talking about, for instance, losing your dog, which is very painful, but it brought something good. So that's kind of a paradox right there.
Mhm.
Well, and the whole idea that we have these pets and they only live to 13 or 14, and we know that they're going to die, but we can't have dogs living to 50 because we can't even take care of the ones we have. Everything is a paradox. And you brought up something interesting, which was when we did Kermit and Friends, how much of that show was sort of based on the hatred and the trolling. And the fact that we both hated that, it was painful and it hurt our feelings, but it drove the show and it was why people were tuning in. It was the thing. How mean can the chat be? And that we would actually take the worst comments and put them up because we had that opportunity back then. So that's basically where I'm coming from, is talking about the concept of the paradox.
So, okay, so that's something I'm confused about a little bit because,
Yeah.
so, when we did our show before, there was a lot of hateful people there, right? So this is something that I ask my Bible group all the time, which is, those people, those dark people that come into our life, are we supposed to, shun them, not give them love? What are we supposed to do with those people? Because I've had people, not even through shows or anything, but just through like my life, that have come in, and I know they're bad for me. I know they're horrible for me. I know like they're the worst people in the world. They're attracted to me for some reason. So should I just not have anything to do with them? What would God do? Because that's what they always ask me in my studies. They say, what would Jesus do? What would God do? Is that how you look at it? Or do you just close the door on those people and never talk to them again? Because that's what I was doing. I did a 30-day spiritual cleanse, November 1st. That's today. So today is actually 30 days in for me. So I did a full month of spiritual cleansing, and I got rid of all the dark forces in my life. And not only did I get rid of those dark forces, but they were gotten rid of for me. I didn't have to hardly do anything.
How did the dark forces get in your life in the first place, to me, is the root of it.
Right.
Because you can chop the top off the weed all you want. If you don't get the roots, it's going to come back.
I know. That's what I'm scared of.
Why when, we sort of blew over the part where you were saying, well, these dark people come into my life. Why?
So it must be something about me that's attracting those dark people, inviting them in. And I don't know what that is.
Well, why are you attracted to them? Because this isn't something that's happening to you. This is a choice.
Right.
It's not about them being attracted to you. Why are you attracted to them? And if you think about it in a really big way, we all came together, at least you and I did, from the Howard Stern show, which has the same paradox. It's so entertaining because it's so mean. And the meanness is funny.
But why do we like that? Why do we laugh at that?
Yeah. See, it's all this paradox.
Yeah, that confuses me too. I actually am not attracted to that anymore. I used to somewhat find that funny, but now once I've worked through, I'm trying to work through things so I don't get attracted to things like that at all, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. And for this past month, I've only tried to be positive. I was really embarrassed at myself. I revert back. I move forward.
Why are you attracted to it ever?
Can you tell me?
I don't have the answers. I barely have the questions.
Okay, well, maybe people can help us. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
So we can help each other.
Put it out there.
Yeah, no, it's an excellent question, Sugar. And it's something that I think about a lot. I was going back to this relationship that was like horrible for me. So bad, the worst type of relationship, the worst person for me. And I said, why am I not strong? Because I don't have a foundation. That was my answer. I didn't have a strong foundation. I didn't have any self-confidence. I felt like, oh, I can't get better than this. I don't deserve better than this. I just had such low self-esteem. And I think maybe if I worked on that, maybe that's what the root of it is, but I'm not actually sure. I actually have no idea. But I'm thinking if I had a strong foundation, which I'm working on, I think reading the Bible and the scriptures help to get a stronger foundation. Have you found that at all?
Yeah, that kind of stuff can help. But when you're talking about not having self-esteem, not feeling good about yourself, what does that mean specifically? What did you think was wrong with you?
See, the thing is, I think I'm pretty great.
I know. I mean,
That's
I feel the same way too. I'm like, what is it that I don't like about myself that I don't feel worthy of someone who treats me properly? And this is a thing a lot of people go through. And we walk around like we're God's gift, but why do we feel so undeserving? What don't we like about ourselves? Why are we punishing ourselves?
You know, when I prayed about it, I was praying, I said, why can't I let go of things that hurt me? Because I know when I feel good, it's very obvious. Like when I'm with friends that I trust, I feel good. When I'm with people I trust, I feel good. When I'm doing, you know, jobs or work where I feel proud of it and I feel full and like I'm giving to the world, that's when I feel good. When I'm with a guy that's treating me like crap, I feel bad. When I'm at a job that I'm not proud of, I feel bad. So, you know, it's so simple. It's very simple. Really, if you're like 3 years old, you can understand that. But why, as an adult that's been through a lot of life, you know, why is that so difficult?
Why are we dumber than amoebas? Like a single
Great
celled
question.
animal, if it feels something sharp and it's painful, will get away from it. Yet we, as these fully formed, supposedly intensely intelligent and spiritual beings, constantly run towards the pain. Why? Does anyone have any answers to that?
Let's ask people. Okay, so let's see who's here. Let's see if anybody has an answer. I don't know actually how to work this, but let me just try.
Okay.
Let me see if Chad.
Oh, I'd love to hear from Chad.
So Chad is here. Chad, you know, I don't know if you're hearing myself and Sugar talking, but we have a very good question, I think, for the world right now. Oh, there's Brandon, my neighbor. Okay, great. Oh, we have a lot of people here. How fun is this? Okay, so the discussion is right now. You know, this is a Sunday morning church service, and we're asking people, you know, why do we go towards pain? Why is that? We go towards things that are bad for us, that hurt us. We're sinning all over the place. You know, we know drinking's bad. We drink. You know, we know going out with an inappropriate person is bad. We go right towards that person. You know, why do we do this? Let's start. Who wants to start? Anybody want to start? No? Who's this guy below me? What's your first name, sir?
James? I'm sorry, I'm new.
Oh, hey. Okay,
This is my first Zoom.
I'm so excited. Yeah, this is my first time hosting a Zoom. I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel like this is a good thing. Okay, so
It's good.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so James, okay, so you're new to the group. I'm so
Yes.
excited that you're here. We were speaking on Instagram before, and you mentioned that you had some ideas. Were you listening to what me and Sugar were speaking about concerning, you know, going towards pain, going towards sinning? We know what's wrong. We know what's going to hurt us. We do it anyway. Do you have any answers about that?
I think sometimes it's just a matter of feeling like, you know, you don't deserve anything other than what you've been used to and familiar with. And sometimes when you're sinning, I believe that, like you mentioned something about like attracting the wrong types of people to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like sometimes we attract the wrong people to us because we feel like we're already so like buried in the sin that we're in. So
What do you mean by buried in the sand? You mean like we're already deep in with that person?
Buried in the sin.
Oh,
He
in
said
buried in the
sin.
sin. Yes.
Oh,
Like
in
we're
sin.
so entrenched in this idea of who we are that we don't really see a way out. Is that what you're saying? Because that makes sense.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And especially, I guess it just kind of hit me with the whole idea of relationships and drawing the wrong people to you. I'm from New York, so I've my experiences, you know, like kind of like the New York City scene and being lured into that and, you know, having dreams and, you know, gifts from God that you want to share with the world. But you feel like you know, if you're not joining in on the sin, then nobody is going to be there to see you or to lift you up. So sometimes I feel like we're just...
That's interesting. If you don't join in on the sin, if you do not give in to the temptation, then you become invisible and you have no one. Is that what you're saying?
And it's loneliness. That's the loneliness was the portal, I would say. I can tell you very specifically that was what got me. And I feel like being in a city that's where people are just, they just mock people of faith. It's very easy to be quiet about your faith and to like maybe the sin is what expressing sin is a way to get attention or to
But
feel.
what drew you to live in a city where you know that faith would be mocked, as opposed to you could live anywhere you want? You chose to live where you live. You could live in a
but it can't be that every single person in New York City is sinning. There's got to be some good people in there somewhere.
And well, exactly right. That's the truth. But it's difficult in a sense to especially with work, like job, maintaining employment and a social life and all of these different things that make us feel whole sometimes can lead us into the wrong direction. And some of us aren't we're just not as it's easier for some people to resist temptation than others. And I feel like I'm in an area for years I was. Now I'm thinking about 10 years back when I was more in New York City. Now I'm kind of like in a separate little area where I have my peace and it's easier for me to just live my daily life without my daily dose of sin, which comes in many different
Are you saying,
forms.
James, that if we sin, we're going to have a lot of friends, right? Everybody's going to want to be near us. If we're not sinning, if we're at church, like what we are doing right now, we're going to have no friends. We're going to be alone. Well,
this is beautiful that I get to be here, and you guys get to change that perception that I have, because I was a lonely person, and I'm also sometimes you still feel lonely when you look at people that you admire and you think, well, I'm never going to be that successful because I don't have a price tag.
But did you notice, James, something I did notice was even if you get very successful through sin, I noticed that those types of people, they get it taken away. That's
very, very true. And I never received anything for.
Like, what is sin, right?
Well, I'll tell you right now. I have a list of sins right here.
Yeah, let's see it.
But that's
Gluttony.
I have a list.
Lisa.
Yes.
Hey, it's Chad.
Oh, it's Chad.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
Totally. Hey, Sugar. I know I'm interrupting right now, but I just wanted to say I'm enjoying this.
You are?
Hey, it's been yes, I really am. I can't talk for long, but I just wanted to turn my mic on real quick and just say hi and hope you. it's great seeing that you're doing a lot better. I know you went through some dark times, losing Kermit and stuff.
I went through so much, Chad, but just hearing your voice, like, it makes my life so much better. It really does.
Well,
say Elisa, it's Chad.
Oh, it's Danny. There's Danny.
There's Danny. Yeah, we have a good group here. So, Chad, do you have any thoughts on what we're talking about, or do you have any thoughts on are you a religious guy, Chad?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I was raised, like no, I wouldn't say religious, but I mean, my parents, went to church and we would go occasionally, but
agnostic?
I wouldn't say. I would say
Christian.
The older I get, I would say I classify myself as agnostic. I'm not saying I don't believe. I just don't know for sure, if like what to believe, I guess.
I love that word, agnostic.
He's not sure. I'm not sure too, Chad. Like, people ask me, Stuttering John said, your last name is Schwartz. Why are you going to church? And I was very upset by that, because even if I was, I was very offended by that. First of all, my mom's Christian. My dad's Jewish. I wasn't brought up with a religion.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I didn't know your mom was Christian. I didn't realize that that yours, right? Okay. I thought both your parents were Jewish.
But honestly, that has nothing to do with it. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think if God wants to come in your life at any point to teach you anything, it doesn't even matter about any of that.
It does matter, though, and I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Judaism functions. Judaism has been around for thousands of years for a reason. If you follow it, it is very well thought out, and it really, really works for certain people. Mm-hmm. So that's why people are protective of their religions, because even if there's no God, even if it's a big nothing, it is a way to live a life as a community.
Yes, Sugar, I was just about to say that even if it's not true. Sorry, I've got my dog sitting out here chewing on a squeaky. Even what I was going to say is that even if it's not true, okay, let's say there is nothing. if religion does help someone in their life and give them a roadmap or a blueprint for how to live life, that makes them successful and makes them happy, then I'm all for religion,
Chad,
whether or not it's true.
Are you a praying man, Chad? You pray?
I think everybody, I think even the most like ardent atheists actually probably do pray, when they find themselves, like in certain situations. I'm sorry, guys, my dog is being really bad.
I just started praying myself.
Did you?
Yeah, I just started.
Lean on me.
Is it working for you?
Yeah, it is actually. So I was praying for strength. Well, this is what happened. I'll tell you. So I was praying for a path. Wait, hold on. I'm echoing. Let me just mute people. Hold on one second. I'm going to mute everybody but me and Chad right now. 1 second, because there's a lot of echo. Okay, Chad, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. So what happened with me was I was really lost. Okay, I was dating a horrible guy. I was in a job I wasn't happy with. I was feeling very depressed. So I started to pray to God once I connected with this woman, a former colleague at the Christian church. I connected with her and she told me I should just start praying for answers. So I started praying a lot, and I wasn't expecting anything. But 3 weeks after I started praying, my company closed down and I told the guy that I was dating that I was going to church and he disappeared. So
yeah,
I've never seen anything work that fast, Chad. Never.
I saw you tweet that I thought that was kind of funny when you said that the guy you were dating kind of left you when you decided that you were going to repent.
Yeah, he hated that I was repenting. He was the biggest and the only thing that would have gotten him out of my life is church. So that worked, and it worked fast. So I've never seen anything in my life work that fast. So I was in after that. So that happened. And then I had this prayer box. I had this client. She told me that I should make a prayer box. So basically, you put prayers in the box. If they're answered, you take them out of the box. So I put all these prayers in there. And it was like, I need another opportunity. I need, because my company had closed. I needed another opportunity. All of a sudden, I put that in there. I had so many opportunities, I couldn't even believe it.
Really?
And then I was praying to get over that guy. And that happened right away. And just things that seemed impossible were becoming possible because I think my prayers were in line with what God wanted for me. It wasn't like some grandiose prayer that, wasn't necessary or was sinning. I was going away from sin. So what I was saying to Sugar here was I have some sins here that I was doing pretty much every one of them. So
can I ask you a question just real quick before you get to your list of sins?
Sure.
Because I was really curious to know that I guess it was like 6 months ago you were tweeting pictures of you with like some Mormon missionaries, I guess, or like some girls, or like do you remember that?
Yeah. So
what were you like? Yeah. Can you tell us about that a little bit? And then I'm gonna turn my mic off because my dog is being really bad right now.
Sure. Thanks for your question.
But I was really, yeah. But anyway, great talking to you, Elisa, and I'm enjoying this.
Great talking to you. Wow, this guy,
Love you,
he's like an angel in my life. I love you. I've always loved you, Chad. Okay, so thank you, Chad, for asking that. So yeah, when I was working in my office, I had a client that was Mormon, and he sent these two very nice girls to, come and pretty much like convert me into the Mormon church. And I liked those girls, and they were great energy, the best people, but I just didn't connect with it as much as I've connected with this other church. But I have nothing against them. And I think any church that you want to be, with or a part of, or anything you want to pray to. Oh, you can't hear me? What's going on, Danny?
I can hear you.
Why is Danny pointing to that?
I'm not sure. But yeah, your audio is fine for me.
Okay. Anyway, so why is he pointing at that? All right, I'm unmuting Danny for a second. Ask to unmute. What, Danny? What?
No, because I just want to ask a question. I want to get my question out before you.
Okay. What's your question, Danny?
So we're talking about religion, Chad. I want everyone to think really hard about this. We're talking about religion, the Bible, and all that. I don't know if this is the Old Testament or First Testament, whatever, but the Bible really, it states it's like a serious offense to be like a homosexual, right? Oh. Can you, in this day and age, be a homosexual and be religious at the same time? Is that possible?
Yes, you just can't be in a religion that condemns homosexuality. There are many religions.
But you know what I have to say about that is I don't think every single word in the Bible you have to go like I mean it's a very old book, right? So I don't think every word. I just take the words that I can relate to, you know, and I just get all I can out of it. I mean, do you guys think? What do you guys think?
There is science in the power of intention. Even if you completely take religion out of it, there are studies done when you were talking about prayers and the prayer box. When you intend to do something, when you do things in an intentional way and you live your life in an intentional way, statistically, things will go your way, whether it's The Secret or whatever you want to call it. The power of positive thinking from the 70s is just a concept that comes up over and over and over. If you have a very specific goal, you focus on it and you work towards it, the odds are you will achieve that goal.
I want to make a point real quick.
Well,
I'm not
Danny,
gay at all.
let me
Hold
answer
on,
Danny's question.
I want to make a point real quick, Chad.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I'm not gay at all. Hashtag no homo. I just want to say that Brandon's very, very, very handsome. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Danny.
Well, you know, it's funny
Danny's
you just
answer-
said that because Brandon's also gay, and I'm wondering how
I
he feels
know.
about-
I could tell.
Oh,
Well, can I answer Danny's
Troublemaker.
question? So, Danny,
sure.
I think that my understanding is that most of the scriptures that condone homosexuality are actually found in the Old Testament, and the New Testament actually doesn't have as much. They don't really address that. And so, as you know, Danny, the Old Testament is the old law, and the New Testament is the new law. And so,
Chad, how are we supposed to take you seriously with all that squeaking going on? Brandon, you're my neighbor and my friend. Brandon, what do you think about what Danny's saying? He also sounds to be very attracted to you, by the way.
Well, thankfully, the Pope recently came out with supporting gay civil unions, which is just a step below gay marriage.
Mm-hmm. Wait, did he just...
I am married and sorry?
No, keep going, Brandon.
I am married and I'm going through divorce. So who knows? Half of divorce is all end in divorce.
Brandon, you know what I'm really against right now? Marriage. I don't believe in it.
Same.
Any marriage.
Same.
Marriage disgusting. Why? Oh my gosh.
You don't believe in
Why,
making
sugar?
a commitment to someone?
No, because these commitments are
Making
complete
a commitment to
bullshit.
someone is
Why?
completely
You have
different.
to try.
Wait, hold on.
No, sugar.
Sorry
ahead,
to correct you, but making a commitment to someone is completely different than being married to someone.
I agree, because you know what? These marriages are just, I'm not impressed by them. Most of them.
Separate things.
What, Brandon?
They're, like you were saying, two separate things.
But they shouldn't be.
But they are.
Well, then that's not a marriage. If you cannot have a marriage without commitment.
Oh, did she?
Otherwise, it's just, I don't know, like if you're 90-day fiance getting someone in the country.
Kenny, you were married, weren't you?
I was married for 11 years, separated now 7 years.
Okay, do you believe in marriage still? Or are you against it like I am?
I'm not against it. I believe in it, but I think it's rare that marriages are going to work. I mean, even with the divorce rate at 50%, you got to think at least half the marriages are unhappy. That cuts it to 25%. That's a low success rate in marriages. I think, you know, I know people like my brothers who are happily married. They have amazing wives. They're very happy. So I just think it's tough to find that soulmate. Both of them met them in high school.
It's almost impossible. It's,
Yeah.
you know what? In high school, that's the time. See,
I
I miss that time. That's where you
Yeah.
meet someone, because they don't know that many other people. You're the best they know.
Yeah.
Maybe you're popular in your class, and they're like, "Yeah, that's the best person I'm ever going to meet." You catch them then. If you
Yeah.
can't catch them then, just forget about it. You're not
I
getting.
agree.
There.
Do you know how many arranged marriages are just as successful as romantic marriages? It doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with a commitment to being married and not running out on it. That's what makes a successful marriage, is you stay through the bullshit, plain and simple, and you don't expect the other person to make you happy all the time. They are not your Jesus, your mother, your father, your best friend. They're just another person, and sometimes it's going to be terrible. And if you run when it's terrible and you go and find someone else to thrill you, you're not in a marriage.
Well, because you're filling up an empty hole that you have inside. That's what I think it is. I noticed this when people are seeking attention from other people, and they're seeking more, it's because they're empty. I think I have that problem, actually. I think I'm empty, and so I seek validation. And that's something I'm trying to work on right now. And actually, the faith is helping with that. And I'm hoping it's going to help more. But I think that's the problem, that is, there's something inside that needs to be filled up. And if someone accepts you and validates you, it's some kind of like fake happiness. But I don't think I'm anywhere near meeting someone because I have so much work to do. And that's going to be what this is about here, hopefully. Hopefully by the end of this show, I'm going to be ready to be married. And actually, I have a date at 12, so I actually have to go soon. But James, we were speaking earlier, and you mentioned that you had some very important information to tell everybody. So I want you to get that important information out before we end.
I just want to say to everybody, repent. And it's a lot more serious than you think it is. And it's a lot more strict. I don't consider myself gay, but I'm in a relationship with a man. My partner is a man. Fornication is the sin. I pray that I don't have perverted thoughts. I pray that I don't have feelings. I don't succumb to my lust. And the end times are upon us. So this is the time. Nobody has to be ashamed. Everybody has a chance for a fresh start. And Elisa, I want you to start praying to see your husband.
I have been actually. No, I've been praying a lot. I mean, not specifically that, but I've been praying for God to show me a path. And he actually does show me. It's weird because, I don't go that many places now because, I'm not going to an office. There's not that many places open, but it's weird. God, when I asked him to show me a path, he gave me all these opportunities in the building where I live. I have 2 dates. And then somebody offered to hire me in the building. I'm like, wow, God really works fast, and he's local.
I want to hear about these. Wait, I want to hear about these guys. Tell me about these guys that live in your building that you're going out with.
Okay, so one of them might be on this Zoom. No, he's not. No. So Brandon's going to meet him.
Hold on, let me check.
Okay.
Brandon's going to meet one of them today, hopefully, if he comes to brunch. So there was a guy. I was in a very good mood yesterday, and I met 2 guys in the building. 2, not 1, 2. And that's right after I had prayed. I'd prayed, God.
But I want to know about these guys. Tell me something about them. Just generally.
Like what? I don't know.
Are they rich? Are they handsome? Are they interesting? What do they
So
do?
wait, everyone, hold on. Everyone in our building is well-to-do.
Okay.
Start there.
I know that might sound like a surprise, Sugar.
Shut up, Mush.
Thank you.
Oh.
And everybody in our building is also emotionally unavailable.
I'm not being shallow. I just want Elisa to be with a man who can take care of her.
That's an excellent point, Sugar. That's a
50-50. It's got to be 50-50 these days.
I don't think you need somebody to take care of you.
She's not capable of
No, she does very well on her own. Let's be clear about that.
You need somebody that's going to let you be independent and go. You'll both have your own purpose and your own faith, and you'll.
So someone I also dated, Eric Riggs. Riggs, are you there?
Hey, Elisa, can you hear me?
Yes. So
Hi,
Eric,
it's great to hear your voice.
it's so nice to hear your voice. Thank you so much for joining us on Kermit and Friends Church Services.
Thank
You
so
and
much for
I.
hosting this.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. So Eric, we went out, right, a couple times.
A few times. I think we got some daiquiris.
Yeah. Wait, Eric, can you speak up a little? You're a little quiet.
Oh, but yeah. I mean, a handful of times. You
Yeah.
know,
Okay, so Eric, what do you think of me like going out there and dating people? What kind of guy should I look for? Eric?
how great you are as a person and what a big star you are. And that whoever, you get together with would need to understand that you're like a really big rock star and be there for you, whoever that is.
That's actually a really good point, Eric. That's good advice. Thank you.
What do you think about that?
I like it. No, I like it. I think it's good, very good advice. Yes, Sugar, you have a comment?
Yeah, that is all
Hello?
beautiful. I like that, and I totally agree with that. And I want you to have a guy that treats you like
Seems
a
like the line
princess
is
and is like
chopped up.
this.
Yeah, I'm just muting Eric because his line is like all weird, but that was really,
Okay,
really.
it's all weird. And also, I would say to you, what would you say you bring to a relationship if you had
Oh,
to put it in words?
well, right now, pretty
Hello?
much
The line
nothing.
kind of broke up.
But
Can you hear me?
in the future, I hope to bring something. But as of right now, probably like zero, I would say.
You're a mother. You're a
What?
woman of God.
Oh, that's true. I am a woman
You
of
have
God.
everything to bring.
I
You
don't
have
like you going
you
on
have,
a date thinking you don't bring anything.
yeah.
Wait, but why?
Look at you, how you treated Kermit. Look at how you treated a little beautiful creature, you know, a defenseless little creature.
Thank
God
you,
loves
James.
you because you took care of somebody that you had control over. Imagine that, an animal. You treated that little baby. Oh, it's beautiful. You have so much to offer, and you shouldn't be dating until you realize that you have everything to offer.
Just
I'm
date
starting
me,
to-
Elisa.
I'm starting to think I should date James.
Yeah, we're match made in heaven.
Yeah, I feel like we are.
But I think you need to stay, you know, I think that that gay spirit kind of is like drawn to you a little bit. So you want to acknowledge that also when you're looking for a partner.
Wait, what spirit?
It's like that spirit. Like do you have a lot of gay friends?
Oh,
Correct?
yeah.
And a lot of gay men that are drawn to you. I think that that's something that you're going to have to also navigate through in finding a romantic partner, because you might connect more with, you know, particular types of men.
Wait, do you think that like that would be holding me back in some way?
Well, now here's the thing. It can be holding you back because maybe there's a disconnect. Like I know, how many gay men do you know that tell you that they have decided that, oh, I'm repenting, and now I decided God told me that I'm going to be with a woman and I'm going to marry a woman. You don't hear this story often. People don't speak of this, but there are a lot of men that, you know, they have a lifestyle change, and after they find their faith, they decide that, oh, I'm going to now be with a woman.
Elisa, I
a lot of
truly love you, but I'm not going to be with you.
Oh,
So,
well, thanks for
okay.
being honest, Brandon. I'm a little confused about what James is saying.
because if we're thinking about like sexuality or like lust or something like that, that adds a whole nother a whole bunch of issues to it. Like if you're looking at for somebody that you're sexually attracted to, or somebody that you have a physical chemistry with, you might not find the person that you're meant to be with. So it can be that, you know, if you pray to God and say, God, show me who my husband is, and then it's me or it's Brandon or it's somebody that's on another path, now you're blocked from finding your partner.
Oh, that's very
It's so
interesting.
very, I know it
I
sounds
never
crazy.
really thought of that. But you know what I'm thinking, James? I think I know I'm going to be abstinent until marriage now, for sure.
That's so terrific and beautiful. That's why I don't like, I feel like I'm always nervous about, especially because I was already, when I was in my 20s, I was in the, never really in the gay scene that much. I always felt rejected by them because of my faith. But that was something that I had to really think about a lot about. And it was
just
abstinence.
makes
That was
sense. To me, it makes a lot of sense.
well, the fornication is the problem. I was also there was a time in my life when I couldn't imagine dating somebody that I didn't have sexual chemistry with, or that everything wasn't based off of sex or about you know, lust, or whether we like the same music. And now that I've grown in my faith, I'm just realizing that many of the things that I used to think that I couldn't live without, are no longer in my life. So I don't know. It's interesting. I've never really even talked about this out, you know, like on a Zoom call.
Well, this is definitely what I want to talk about. I think when you do sin, it's not a good feeling at all. It doesn't bring your life in a good direction. And I've noticed that. I never even thought about it till I read the sins, and I said,
What is your list of sins?
So this list of sins that I found, Brandon. So, okay, I'm going to read this to you because it's so interesting. So the acts of flesh are obvious: sexual immorality, impurity, debauchery, idolatry, which is when you put someone before God.
Oh God.
So
We
I
do that
did
in relationships too. You do that in relationships when you put somebody. It could be the biggest fucking loser. Pardon me for cursing in church.
That's okay.
But it could be the biggest loser, and you're gonna idolize this person because in your, traumatized world, which a lot of people don't realize that sex is traumatizing. Many people are having sex regularly, and they're pretty much traumatized with every sexual experience, and nobody's.
That's me.
Yeah, you're not enjoying it. You feel violated because it's like you're being raped in the spirit when you're just focusing on sins. And
I think
it
it
took
takes
a
you
lot.
further from God, and you can feel that. And anything that takes you further from God never feels good.
You're going to resent them. So that's the same thing. Like my whole thing is we're in the end times. I'm with a man that I love dearly that brought me closer to God. We're like apostles. We study the word of God, and we're actually at a point where I was the one that was very pushy about continuing to have a romantic relationship, which basically just means having sex, like intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
And since giving up that part of the relationship, my life has just gotten so much more wonderful. And it's scary. It doesn't sound like something that people would want to even invite into their lives. But I think
was that hard to do, James? Was that hard to stop that part of the relationship?
Yeah, it's actually, I have to constantly be in prayer because it's not, I grew up thinking I've had experienced abuse very early on in my life. And it caused me to have this feeling of wanting to be, like feeling like that was the way I was connecting with somebody. Like, so for me, it was like, if there wasn't sex, then you don't love me. And if you don't feel sexually attracted to me, there's no way that you can love me. But I had not known what it was like to be in a relationship with somebody that saw what was inside my soul. And so that's something that I'm telling myself, it's challenging. I even wanted to mention this to the guys because this is funny. I know women have the same problem, but masturbation. Try to give up masturbation for a little while.
Danny.
Oh my goodness. It just is a portal, guys. It's such a portal. And let me tell you something. It will change your life. There's this whole crazy movement called the no fapping movement. And oh, wow. It's unbelievable.
So
Don't
how
you
has
have
your
to-
life changed, James? How has your life changed since no fapping? What's it called, fapping?
Well, no fapping is just like not masturbating.
I know,
So you
but
don't
what's
want to.
fap?
It's the sound it makes.
Ugh.
I've only heard it. I'm sorry.
If you were in a relationship, if you were in a relationship with a female, would you be feeling the same way about sex?
That's a really, really, really wonderful question. And I actually, I can't exactly answer it. Maybe what I would say is that I've always had a feeling of, I was always afraid to have sex with a female. I've never had sex with a female. And I've always felt like I was, like I grew up around women.
Never?
So yeah, I've never done it before.
Well,
Never. So
Oh
maybe
my
I'm
God.
pure. I
Most
don't
guys
even
can't
think
do
about
it.
it. No, you know what it
what's
is?
so
Because
scary
I
about
don't
a
want to
female?
hear about how bad I was. I don't want to hear how, like if you move the wrong way, all of a sudden you're violating that woman's soul. Like you're cursing this woman's soul. And it's
you can do the same thing with a guy, dude. Just
well,
FYI.
that's actually no, it's not
It's a
true.
little
Like
bit more
for me,
so
it
with
felt
the
like
guy,
it was.
brother.
It
is
didn't
true.
feel that way.
What do you mean, James? What do you mean it's not true that so you can't like ruin a guy's life through having
No,
sex with them?
Well, you can do that, but I'm saying like just the actual act of it. Like to me, sleeping with a woman, I would feel like unless I was just doing it for the sole purpose to have children, I would feel like I was harming her,
Wow.
just transferring my bad spirits onto somebody else. And with
Danny,
men, it's a lot
can you
different. There's
relate to
many
that?
different ways. There's a
No.
lot of different ways
No?
to.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Let's ask people. Wait, Danny, you don't know what he's talking about? You don't feel like you
Okay,
are
Danny,
are
what are you doing over
violating women?
Are you
Yeah.
mean physically harming her, or like emotionally, spiritually?
Well, it's spiritual. It's like, do you ever realize when you sleep with a woman? I've had relationships with women where I've not even been physical. Elisa, you know somebody actually that was, yeah. This will be further along the road. I'm not ready to talk about this, but I have been, violated by women.
I know the person.
Violated by women.
Yeah, well, or at least taken advantage of, like by a person that was trying to convince me that I was attracted to her, like as if our connection was romantic rather than being, looking at somebody as an older, more mature, motherly influence. So,
Wait, was the
Violated.
person that you got violated by from Kermit and Friends?
yeah, it was somebody from the past, like around that. I think it was around that time.
A Kermit
And it
and
wasn't
Friends
like a
person?
I want to make it very clear too that it was just like it was somebody that would have a better understanding of maybe like mental health.
Danny, do you have any idea who James is talking about right now?
Mush suggested it was Rhonda. Could it be Rhonda? Oh, Mush, bingo.
No, so in any case, this is the thing. I had been feeling like I opened up to somebody and I explained to them how I felt, and that was what made me vulnerable, was explaining that, and trying to like understand the depths of sexuality and then tying it together to my faith. So
Well, I'm so sorry to hear that, James. Thank you for sharing with us. I really appreciate everybody coming on today, giving us your story. It's just so wonderful. And I'm so happy I did this. And, if you guys want to come back next week, we'll do another church services here on Kermit and Friends. Thank you all so much.
Hi.
Bye, Elisa.
Bye.
bye.